Welcome to Mr. Brandt's 5th grade Everyday Math Review. In today's lesson, we're going over lesson 5.13, Fraction Division Part 1. And as you can see on the screen, I have 1/3 represented. And I'm going to give you a problem. And after going through that problem, we're going to come up with a number model using a letter for the unknown. So, this 1/3, we're going to say it represents 1/3 of a chocolate cake. So I have 1/3 of a chocolate cake, and I would like to share that with 2 of my friends. How much chocolate cake will each person get? So I know that our starting point is 1/3. And I want to divide that 1/3 amongst myself and my 2 friends. So when I'm sharing, I'm going to be dividing, and it's going to be 1/3 divided by 3 for my 3 friends. Now, as of right now, to represent the unknown, I'm going to use C for cake. So 1/3 divided by 3 equals C. Now, let's try to figure out what this C is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my 1/3 of the cake, the portion that I have, and I'm going to divide that into 3 equal sections. That color's not the greatest. Let's try this. There we go. So there are my 3 sections. There's 3 people. So one person is going to get this piece right here. You're going to get that piece right there. Once I've determined how much each person's going to get, I'm going to go back up here, and now I'm going to add in the rest of my lines to figure out my denominator. So I can see that if this was the whole chocolate cake, I could see that there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. And going back to my division here, each person would get 1 piece from that original third that we started with. So my answer would be 1/9. So 1/3 divided by 3 is 1/9. Now they ask you to check that. And so to check that, what we're going to do is we're going to do go back to finding the unit fraction of a number. So we're going to start with our 3, and we're going to multiply that by our 1/9. Okay? So 3 divided by 9 is going to give me 3/9. 3/9 is the same as 1/3. And 1/3 was our starting point. So after multiplying and checking our answer, we can see that yes, 1/3 divided by 3 is 1/9. And then 3 times 1/9 equals 1/3. For my next sample problem, I'm going to use a number line. And I've already got it divided out a little bit for you. But for this one, I want you to think about bubble tape. When I was a kid, we had this stuff that was called bubble tape. It was bubble gum, and we really liked it. So for this problem, I'm going to say I have 1/5 of a yard of bubble tape. 1/5 of a yard of bubble tape. And I want to share that with one of my friends. So the first thing I'm going to do is mention fifths. So I took my number line and I divided it into fifths. So I have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and then 1 or 5/5. So on these number line problems, you have to think about what's the denominator and divide your number line into that many sections. Now, we had 1/5 of a yard of bubble tape left, and I'm going to share with one friend. So I'm starting with 1/5. I'm going to share that, which means I'm going to divide with one friend. And since I'm dividing with one friend, that's 2 people. So I'm going to have 1/5 divided by 2. Since I'm dividing by 2, I have to go through, and I'm going to go into my 1/5 section, and 1/5 divided by 2 is going to give me this amount right here. Okay? It's going to give me that amount right there. So my next step then is to see how many there would be for the whole yard. So I have to divide each of these sections also into 2 to find out how many total sections there are in one whole yard. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sections. So I have 10 total sections. Of those total sections, how much is one person going to get? It's going to be back to this one piece here, so it's going to be 1/10. I just realized I forgot to put in my number line, or I forgot to put in my letter to represent the unknown. I'm going to go with B for bubble tape. So 1/5 divided by 2 is B. Now, they ask you to check. So I'm going to check, I'm going to take my 1/10. I'm going to rewrite that over here. I'm going to take my 1/10 and I'm going to multiply it. I'm going to do the opposite times 2. And 1/10 times 2, remember when we're finding the unit fraction of a whole number, you take the whole number, divide it by the denominator. So 2 divided by 10 is 2/10. 2 divided by 10 is 2/10. And 2/10 is equal to or is equivalent to 1/5. And that's where we're starting from. So 1/10 times 2 is 2/10 or 1/5. That shows that we did our division correctly. So how much bubble tape would each person get? They would get 1/10 of the bubble tape. And for the practice section at the bottom, they've got some multiplication for you. And we're going to start with an estimate. And when I estimate, I always like to round to the greatest place. So again, when I round, I look to the number right to the right. 6 is higher than 5, so the 2 rounds up to a 3. Here I'm going to look in the ones place. The 3 is 4 or below, so the 5 stays the same. So for my estimate, I'm going to have 3,000 times 50. And 5 times 3 is 15. And when I multiply thousands by tens, I shouldn't have put that comma there. When I multiply thousands by 10, that's 10,000. 10,000 has 4 zeros. And if you notice, this also has 4 zeros here. So 3,000 times 50 is 1,500. So when we're done, our answer should be somewhere in the ballpark of 150,000. All right, let's go in and do our multiplying. So when we're multiplying, again, we have to multiply all the numbers by the ones place. So 4 times 3 is 12. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And I'm done with all of these. Now that I'm multiplying by the 5, I'm multiplying by the tens place, so I'm going to put in my 10. 4 times 5 is 20. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 2 is 47. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And then I can go ahead and add up all those numbers. 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 plus 0 is 7. 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 3 is 4. And then we have 1. So 142,782. If we compare it, it's pretty close. And there you have it. So thanks for watching the video. Hope it was helpful, and have a great evening.